Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rajam sir. Hi, Murli sir. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Good evening,
Yeah.
sir.
Hi, Divya.
Hi, Divya.
Good evening, Dr. Rajam sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Please turn on your cameras, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, Mahesh.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. So,
Hi,
Mahesh,
good
nice to
evening.
meet you. I think you can, regarding PhD and all the things, you can ask Rajam sir, Murli sir, anybody the questions here. Rajendra Prasad sir,
Yes.
good evening. Hi, Saraj, Manoj, Pushpanjali, Gokul. Please turn on your cameras. Shushti, Kiran.
Good evening, Rajam sir.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Kiran.
I hope you are able to recall. I was a student in 2010,
Okay.
project assistant actually.
Oh, I know Sachin. I know you very well. Of course, I remember. I
Saraj
remember
Gupta.
very well. As I know. Gupta. Yeah. Yeah, you worked during, I think, 2000, around 2000, many years ago.
Yes, sir. 2010 till 2012.
During Deepali, that time Deepali was there, Deepali Singh.
She, I remember Aarti and Dr. Vijesh,
Yeah.
Manish
Ina was also there. Yeah.
Ina.
So you are in
Yes.
Hyderabad now. You are in Hyderabad now?
No, I'm in Haryana now. I'm doing my own diagnostics startup.
Good. Diagnostics for human diseases or?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
So after your lab, I went to Dr. Reddy's in Hyderabad, and then
Yeah, that's what I know
I
actually.
worked-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I know. You have joined Dr. Reddy's laboratories. I saw somewhere. Yeah.
Yes.
Good to see you after so many gaps. Yeah,
Yes.
and glad that you are doing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're based in Delhi, or you moved back to
No,
Hyderabad?
I had superannuated in 2020 February, and then continued for 2.5 years as a UGC BSR faculty fellow. And
Okay.
then this March, we completely shifted from Delhi to my native place, Warangal.
Okay.
And
Okay.
here, of course, I'm doing some online activities like this, and writing a book, clearing pending manuscripts, keeping myself busy.
Great.
Yeah, right. So you have, I still remember, you have also got a publication. Yeah.
Yes, sir. From your lab, when I was working
In
there.
my lab.
Yes, from your lab, I had
From my lab.
2 publications. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That actually helped me during my interviews in industry also.
Obviously. Yeah. So when did you start this diagnostic center in Haryana? Which place in Haryana?
My native sir, Ambala. So about
Ambala.
1 year back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a startup actually. I'm trying to develop some novel IVD kits and products.
So this you have started on your own or in collaboration with somebody?
Currently on my own, I'm working at a startup incubator here.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So Rajam sir, let's let me ask everybody whoever are here, because because
Yeah,
the
sure.
FABA Fridays is really a community building approach, sir. Thank you for joining. So good evening,
Thank you.
everybody, or good morning if you are joining from some other places, or good afternoon. So let's keep it this session very interactive, like first 15 to 20 minutes. Let's introduce each other. So I prepared a small format. I mean, there's one thing that I want to say, like, now you have an opportunity to be fabulous. So there was one innovator in Germany who used to say, like, whenever there is an opportunity, don't miss that opportunity to be fabulous. So now here is an opportunity for you to be fabulous. So what does that opportunity mean? To interact with people. So interact with people by introducing yourself. Like, you can introduce with this format, who am I? Like, who are you? What do I do? Like, what do you do? Where are you from? And why are you here? And what is the one thing that people doesn't know about you? It could be any super skill that you have. So who wants to go first introducing?
Yeah,
Please.
should I start?
Yes, sir.
I can go. I don't have any problem. Thank you, Jagdish. Hello, Shivam sir. This is Murli. I am from Kerala. I'm a biochemist, and I'm here to basically. Last week I started with FABA. I liked it. I liked the format. So I'm here primarily to see what you have to offer, and I'm trying to kickstart my career at the age of 54. I'm trying to return to academics. Let's see. And what do people don't know about me? Practically, people don't know me, so I need to boast about myself. I am a scientist who has systematized cell biology. That's what I believe, and brought it to the principles along physics to basically agree with the known principles of physics. My works are very radical, very fundamental, and hopefully in the future, you don't have to hear me speaking about myself. You will know my work. That's my target.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
all. I hope I got it going, Jagdish, for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The floor is yours.
Fantastic. Who's next? Yes, Sajid. Unmute.
Can you? Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'm Sajjad, and I'm currently studying in Bangladesh Agricultural University. I'm a BSc Agriculture graduate and currently doing my undergrad at now I'm at fourth year student. And yes, and FABA Friday is really awesome. Inspired us a lot. Actually, there are lots of researcher who actually brings lots of insights that really help us in the future. And something that people don't know about me that I love to explore, and I am a good listener, I think, and I am trying to be a good communicator. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sajid. Who's going next? Kiran, yeah.
Yes, sir. Hi, everyone. Good evening. And this is Kiran Kumar, and I'm doing PhD from University of Hyderabad. And for my PhD, I'm working on cancer model, especially breast cancer and lung cancer. And our lab basically work on small molecule inhibitors. And I'm from Andhra, and I did masters from Tirupati Sri Venkateswara University. And especially how FABA is helpful to students like us. It is more helpful in career connections, and it is bringing a lot of useful platforms like this FABA Friday. I think this is the 14th FABA Friday. And other than this, FABA used to do the drug design workshop, and I like it most. And I since 2 years I'm attending it. And other than that, FABA is providing very good platform for future as well as for the good connections. And people don't know the thing that is about me. I used to spend more time in the weekends, and I follow social media more regularly, and I cook well.
You used to spend time on the weekends, means not spending time on the weekdays or what?
Weekdays, like for personal weekdays, I used to spend in the lab only. So since morning to night, I used to be in the lab. Still now I'm in the lab.
Okay, great. Who's going next? Hi, Ajit. Good evening. Good to see you. Hi, Ranjan sir. Good evening. Pushpanjali ma'am, you want to go? Yes. You're on mute.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Pushpanjali. I've done my PhD from Central University, Hyderabad, long back. Right now, I'm heading the department, biotechnology department, PG section in social welfare. Sir, you might be aware, Pavni is associated with you.
Okay.
Right, I gave a talk in DNA at 150. I was there. I was presenting my paper also.
Okay.
So I keep on checking in FABA the things which are beneficial for my students. I explore different things and I ask them to follow. Actually, today I'm in train. Actually, I'm traveling. Otherwise, I put it on projector and ask my students to watch whatever you conduct. So it's been very helpful for them, and I explore for myself and my students both. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. What is the one thing that people don't know about you?
I'm a go-getter, so
Okay.
I like to interact with many people. So
Thanks.
that's it.
Great,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's going next? So please turn on your cameras. Don't be shy, because this is really a community building approach. Only if we see your face, then we will get to know that, oh, okay, you were there in FABA Fridays. Otherwise, when you ask for, sir, is there a job? Sir, is there a recommendation? Then afterwards, like, who are you? We didn't see you anytime like that. So who is going next? Who is introducing? Manoj?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah. Can I?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Manoj. Yeah. Basically, I'm from Nepal. Right now, I'm in Bangladesh. Right now, I'm doing MS, means the Masters in Horticulture at Bangladesh Agriculture University, Mymensingh. Yeah. And in my country, I'm doing job in agriculture research organization. Okay. And what about me? I say I'm a music listener. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Who is going
Yeah.
next? Guys, feel free to introduce yourself. We have so many good people here in the panel. We have Dr. Ajit Kamath, Ranjan Chakrabarti sir, everybody, Murli sir, Rajam sir.
Anybody can come in. Yeah.
Yes.
One minute.
Can I?
Yes, yes. Shivani, please.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. This is Shivani. I have done my master's in biochemistry from University of Hyderabad. Then after that, I joined in CCMB as a project trainee for 6 months. Then I have applied in several places for JRF position. So I got in around 10 institutes I got. Then I choose CCMB again, but I felt like I'm not getting time to prepare for IELTS or like to list out universities and all, because the work pressure was like very high there. So then I have shifted to Naipur, Ahmedabad. So currently I'm in Gujarat, Ahmedabad. And one thing people doesn't know about me is I love evolution and animal behavior more than molecular biology.
Wow.
So I want to do PhD in abroad. That's also I want to do in a good lab. I want to become a scientist. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic, Shivani.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And yeah.
No problem. I mean, this FABA Fridays is a community building platform. So people like you and me just come together and explore like whatever doubts you have. We pick one topic so that you get knowledge, but later the main aspect is community building. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure. Who's next? Sushri, Riya?
Sir, can I?
Yes, yes.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Mahesh. I have completed my master's from Central University of Punjab in the field of zoology. And right now, I have been working as a project assistant in University of Hyderabad from Department of Biochemistry, where I am going to explore the field of mitochondrial biogenetics. And where I am from Andhra Pradesh, from Guntur district. And why I'm here is been confused like regarding career opportunities, whether to pursue PhD in abroad or in India, and what are the opportunities that I would get if I do PhD in abroad, and what are the recommendations and the references that I can like advises, the valuable guidance and suggestions that I can get from here. That is a reason why I'm here. I'm in a confused state. I mean, really. So that is, I want to just get out of that confusion and be confident about myself. That is a more one of the best reason I can say. And the one reason, I mean, the one thing people don't know about me is I have been a loser once, and day by day I'm getting confident, and I'm gaining confidence, and I'm trying to prove myself as being as a researcher and explore the field in the field of neuroscience and contribute some valuable insights to the society.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. I think it was an inspirational speech. It was not an introduction. Okay. Who is going next? Priya, I see you turning on camera.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Ria, and I am currently doing my master's from Tulane University. That is where I got to know about FABA. Jagdish sir conducted an interactive session with us all, and I am doing master in biotechnology, and I'm from Delhi, but my college is in Mysore. And thing people don't know about me is that I chose biology because I really love drawing the diagrams with different concepts.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir, Anthony Abraham. Anthony is from Nigeria. Very, very interesting personality. Anthony, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself. Yes. Oh, yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, it is afternoon here in Nigeria now. What time it is here. My name is Anthony Abraham. I have a first degree in biochemistry and an associate degree in biomedical science. That's the one we refer to here as medical laboratory science. I did my master's in analytical chemistry. Presently, I am deputizing the Director, Medical Laboratory Services in the State Ministry of Health, where I am here. And I've tailored my career towards biorisk management and quality management system. Here in my country, I'm popular with quality management system as an auditor for the African Society for Laboratory Medicine. I also have a certification with the International Federation of Biosafety Associations, IFBA. So that is summarily about me.
And what do people doesn't know?
Thank you very much. What many people don't know about me is that they don't know that I'm a professional nurse.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm also a professional nurse.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. We have 4 more minutes for introduction. Who is going next?
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sarah.
Okay. Can you see me?
Unfortunately not, but we can hear you.
No, we cannot see you.
But go ahead, Sarah. We can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon from Nigeria, everyone. I'm Sarah Silas by name. Lab scientist by profession, public health, MPH. I work with the molecular diagnostic lab here in Gombe, and I'm the safety officer. Just like my boss have rightly said, he's my mentor in that aspect. I'm really working on biosafety, biosecurity, and I'm trying to build myself in that aspect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Who is next? Vaishnavi?
Hello, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Vaishnavi. I have done integrated Masters in Systems Biology from University of Hyderabad. I have recently completed my Masters in 2023 June. I have done one internship in University of Manitoba in soil sciences. Presently, I'm looking for some PhDs abroad. I'm also interested in a PhD in India, but I'm confused whether what kind of PhD, what's the difference between a PhD in abroad and India? I'm still looking, and I still want to explore more before joining a PhD program, whether I would be fitting in or not. So, and then I have met this FABA Fridays, and then this is very good opportunity to which is providing which is providing knowledge on various topics. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Last introduction. Who is going next? Anybody, even Ranjan sir or Ajit sir, please. Shravan Kumar, I see.
Yeah, very good evening, one and all. Myself, Dr. B. Shravan Kumar. I have been working as an assistant professor in computer science department. I have been working in Wagdoi College of Engineering, Warangal, and I would like to listen the session from Professor V Rajam. So I'm very much interested, and I was waiting since last 1 year to join his session. Now I'm going to fulfill my. This is about me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Ajit.
Okay. Yeah. Let me go. Let me go next. Yeah. Hi everyone. Glad to be here. Now work closely with Divya and Jagdish and Dr. Ranjan and others on the FABA activities. My background is a biochemist, trained as a biochemist, PhD from University of Science many decades ago, and then postdoc in Austin, Texas and Stanford. Then went to Pfizer, worked at Pfizer for about 20 years in the US, mostly in the East Coast. I'm a preclinical drug discovery person, similar to Dr. Ranjan here. He has a lot more experience than me. And then came back to India, worked at Jubilant as a senior VP for drug discovery, structural biology programs, and then worked at executive director at Mitra Biotech, working on cancer diagnostics, and then also worked at Pfizer as head of external R&D India. And I currently advise some of the startup companies. I work with the Pandorum Technologies, working on corneal blindness. You can check their website. I also advise another company called Metastop Solutions, working on cancer metastasis, trying to identify what causes primary tumor to become metastatic. So these are the two companies I work. In addition, I also mentor some of the startup companies for Government of India and Government of Karnataka. I am part of some of the DBT committees, in particular BIRAC, with the BioNest, Make in India efforts, BIG programs, and the National Biopharma Mission. So thank you.
What is something that people doesn't know about you?
Thank you.
Sir, can I add something?
Sure.
Sir, Adi sir, do you recognize me? We meet in the Senate Bhavan, Dhaka University. Your fifth international conference. I was volunteering you in Bangladesh.
Oh, this was
nice to see you, sir.
2 days ago. Oh, thank you for joining. I'm glad to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you. I couldn't recognize. Thank you.
Ranjan sir, do you want to introduce? I think this is an amazing opportunity that participants have to get to know you and reach out to you afterwards, especially with the questions like to do PhD, to go to industry abroad, India. I think these are very big confusing questions, and you already have done it.
Yeah, thanks, Jagdish. This is Ranjan Chakraborty. I did my PhD from CSI Institute in Calcutta, in University of Chemical Biology. Basically, I'm a biochemist, when we started biochemistry, like I am one of the first few batches of biochemistry in Calcutta University. People used to think what these guys are doing instead of chemistry, going to biochemistry. Then after in the final year of my PhD, I left for US. I spent there for 8 years. Then I came back, joined Dr. Reddy's lab, set up the biology team there in the drug discovery research. I spent 12 years there, and then I spent some time in GVK Bio, and then I spent another 11 years at United States Pharmacopoeia, mostly working in the biopharma area. So basically, I claim myself as a kind of background with drug discovery and biopharma, and that's exactly what I'm doing. By the way, I retired last year. So after that, I'm now advising some small companies and organizations who are working in drug discovery and biopharma. And also I am kind of advising a couple of NIPER and other universities in their biotechnology biopharma group, and also advising several conference organizers who are kind of organizing conferences in this area. And I think the thing you don't know is that, it overlaps with my job also, that I love traveling and meeting with different cultures and understand their cultures and the uniqueness of those cultures across the globe. Luckily for my job from both Dr. Reddy's as well as in USP, especially in USP, I practically traveled all over the world. Only few countries left. So that's a big thing, which actually it's great that it match what I love, beside my, of course, corporate responsibility and scientific thing. So, and it is very nice. I try to join this FABA Friday whenever I have time, because I think this is a great attempt for the newcomers. And Jagdish, Divya, and all the FABA team are doing a great job here. Bringing all Fridays there, and also organizing several meetings in different conferences here. I think next week there is a India Lab Expo in Hyderabad, where again FABA is organizing several panel discussions, and I think there is another career opportunities there.
Yes, sir. We have September 16th Career Connect, where it's a full day event where all students can come for free in Hyderabad. There will be professional photo session, that there will be a professional photographer who takes the pictures, that you can put it on LinkedIn. We will do a CV session where people can come and get trained on how to do a perfect CV, how to do networking. And then we invited a couple of HRs to come and showcase like what exactly people apply for jobs and what HR looks into it. And then the last one we have is a goal setting. And one thing that we are trying is that we want to pick one student and we want to do a live interview, how an interview will be there, so that people, everybody who is kind of watching the interview, they know what questions can be asked. We'll pick somebody from internally so that they won't get scared. Yeah. Great, sir. Now I think, thank you so much. So now let's move on. I'm not going to present about FABA, because I think you all know about FABA. So FABA is a non-profit organization started in 2004. We identify FABA in three verticals. Like one is an ecosystem builder or enabler, where bringing people from industry, academia, and governments, and do a couple of big events. We helped the Andhra Pradesh government to launch an implementation plan about antimicrobial resistance, and we do such kind of events. And then the second one is FABA Academy. Academy was launched in 2020, mainly to help students to get help with the career. It could be getting a job or doing a PhD or anything. And we do a lot of workshops like drug discovery, biosimilars, and biologics, or even FABA Fridays now. So every week it's been like 15th FABA Friday. Divya, 15th or 16th? 15. So it's been 15 weeks that we have started this session, and it's amazing like how we are able to pull it up. And the main idea is to build a community, because life sciences field is not that easy. I mean, once you start your career in biology, I mean, many of us wants to become a doctor, but unfortunately not all of us can become doctors. But there are many streams like biotechnology, microbiology, biochemistry, but it's not so easy, because the career is very confusing. I mean, like what Kiran or Shivani has mentioned, So Mahesh or Shivani has mentioned it's not so easy, whether India, abroad, or PhD or industry. So this is where FABA wants to throw some light, bringing many experts in the field and help you out. So it's really a community building platform and also connecting to mentors, mentoring platform, where you all are a part of it. Like if you know something, you are a mentor. If you do not know something, you are a mentee. So it's as easy as that. So today we have Professor Rajam here with us. Like we invited him to give a talk because he's one person I think Redana sir really praises a lot. And I'll give a brief intro, sir. Then you please continue. So the topic for today is that how to level up your career. So Dr. V Rajam is a former professor, head and UGC BSR faculty fellow in the Department of Genetics, University of Delhi South Campus, after his superannuation in February 2020, and has 35 years of teaching and 42 years of research experience. Look at the numbers, guys. Some of us don't even have that age. A Kakatiya University alumnus with postdoctoral stints at Yale and Cornell, his contributions span plant biotechnology, RNA interference, and polyamine physiology. He authored 110 research articles, 65 book chapters, and co-edited 2 Springer volumes on plant biology. Guiding 42 PhD and 11 MPhil students, Professor Rajam's research was fortified by 30 major national and international projects. He collaborated globally with visits to France, Italy, and China, and among others. A fellow of 4 premier Indian science academics, he is also a member of the Plant Tissue Culture Association of India. His services extend as an editorial board member for international journals, leader at University of Delhi 2012 to 2015, and RNA Technology Task Force member for India's Department of Biotechnology. Among his accolades are the Rockefeller Foundation Biotech Career Fellowship and Shiksha Ratan Puraskar. Sir, I think this time is not enough to tell about you. So now please feel free to share your slides and start talking, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jagdish, for kind introduction. Yeah. So I shall be talking about how to level up or elevate your career. Next, please. Yeah. In this talk, I will share the experience of my academic journey and how I have elevated my career with a general introduction on career development. Although I'm not a management person or career development expert, if I had to give a talk in my own research area, that would be much easier for me. So for the first time, I'm giving a talk on career development. So please bear with me. You can interrupt me if you have any suggestions or queries. Next, please. The concept and definition of career. Of course, career is the utmost important of anybody's life. It is an important aspect of life and your family and is a part of your identity. It also provides direction and purpose and defines your social life. There are many definitions on career, but according to Cambridge Dictionary, it is a person's progress through life and is related to a range of aspects of individual life, learning, and work. It also relates to occupation or profession that usually involves special kind of training or formal education. And of course, the career develops over time. A person can't have a lucrative career in few months or few years' time. It takes years, actually. Yeah, I mean, there are short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, but usually it takes few years to have a wonderful career in any given field. And there are different stages of career. Exploitation, based on your education background or training, specialized training, you can choose a suitable job and then establish yourself by hard working in that particular profession or by dedicating yourself in the area of your interest. Then after establishment and dedication, you can think about short-term career, like what are your goals for next 1 to couple of years, and then midterm career. This is something very fruitful stage where you have to really work hard to achieve and to have a very good career. Late career, of course, you can still contribute to for your career during later years of your service, and then we decline. After retirement, generally, we hardly contribute for our own career development, but there are exceptions where people could still contribute even after retirement, even 80 plus, because I've seen the professors and scientists they're still active and contributing for their own career as well as for the nation development even after 80 plus. Next, please. Career planning is a intentional or deliberate process of knowing who you are so that you can be sure of where you want to go and what you want to be at some defined point in the future. In other words, based on your abilities and background, particularly specialized training and education, you can go for career option. This is something very important. It's very critical to choose a suitable job depending on your training and education. So having chosen a suitable option, career option, then you can define goals, specific goals to become something in the future. Next, please. There are 5 stages of career planning: self-assessment, explore work or career options, narrow down list of work or career options, decide or choose the best option, set a career goal. We will be very briefly discussing these because most of you would be knowing this. Next, please. Self-assessment is the first step and very, very critical and very crucial. So knowing and understanding of self is better to know you in the right job. So you have to decide upon, based on your educational background, what kind of job is more suitable for you. So, and then self-assessment would depend on the specialized training, education, that is background, attitude, interest, and personality, self-image, needs, values, and skills. Next, please. Then explore work or career options. So matching and aligning what exactly you want to do is something very important. Although you would have many opportunities, so you have to choose the right opportunity or you have to choose the right job. Depending on your educational background, that matches with your educational background. Where to explore? So you can explore the career goals, within your organization or any other organizations, whether it's private organization or public organization. Then you can also look at entrepreneurial or self-employment opportunities if you are very good at scientific abilities as well as managerial skills. Look at the jobs and careers. The people you know of those you read about or see, so that you are more sure about your career options. Next, please. Narrow down the list of work or career options. So initially you may be having many opportunities, but you have to really narrow down the list of career options. Mostly 3 to 5 options. And then there are many career options, depending on your interest, whether you want to become a faculty or a scientist, teacher, engineer, or IT specialist, biotech pharmaceutical company, R&D scientist, manager, even starting self business, etc. So this depends on your interest and background. Kinds of career paths. There are 4 career paths. Study stage. It requires a long-term commitment to one career, which is characterized by study, improvement in the knowledge and skills. Like in my case, right from beginning, I wanted to become a teacher, come researcher, and I spent more than 35 years to have a career, in this particular field. Then linear, constant upward mobility, in which there is a steady increase in power, responsibility over the work of others, and financial rewards. Transitory, constant seeking for a variety or independence. So this job tend to be a short term and mobility is generally lateral. Spiral, the regular changes of job, usually every 5 to 7 years. And again, mobility is usually lateral. Next, please. Decide or choose the best option. As I said, among many opportunities, you have to shortlist maybe 3 to 5 options, career options. Then the description of your ideal job, personal mission statement, job requirements, and qualifications. Next, please. Set a career goal. Having decided the career option among the lot, then you have to set a goal, a career goal, which is absolutely important. Well, what makes a good goal good? Like it has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, and action-oriented. So you have to be very focused so that you can motivate to overcome obstacles that will keep you from achieving your goal. Next, please. So there could be some barriers to career goal and plan. These can be either self-imposed or psychological barriers, like the negative self-image, negative attitude, like bitterness, selfishness, etc., or negative emotions like anxieties or fear, victim mentality, feeling incapacity, you know, feeling of inability of undertaking something, interpersonal conflicts torn between two or more values, personal trait. This is also something very important. Indecisiveness, aggressiveness, competitiveness, negative thoughts against other people, bias and prejudice. So these one should avoid these, to overcome the barriers of career plan. Next, please. Then prepare for setbacks and successes to ensure your career. Be prepared for any contingency by maintaining an updated resume. You have to improve your communication and written skills and also presentation skills. Build a network, both personal and professional, because this will provide you an opportunity to have collaboration with other personnel working in your own area, your interest area. And also remember that professional education and self-employment are never ending. That means learning is a continuous process. So one has to, uh, in order to embrace with the latest developments, of course, you have to learn also. Work on being pleasant and contagious. In case of failure of a project or some work, don't ever get disappointed and have courage to continue to get successes. And as you know, failures lead to successes. Next, please. Yeah. So this is a kind of general introduction about career development, but there are many tips which can enhance your career, like my foundation building blocks. I have listed some of the important tips based on the literature and from my own experiences. First and foremost important is you have to improve your skills to perform better and to have a lucrative or a wonderful career. So there are many key skills. Communicating and writing skills is something very important. So, after doing a wonderful work on a particular project or in a particular research area, you have to communicate well to, tell about your work to others. Writing skills, after generating a new knowledge and data, the writing a good manuscript or paper is something very important. And also presentations. So your work, you have to present your work in national or international conferences. So preparation of a good presentation, particularly PPT, is absolutely important. Slide preparation, sequence, data, conclusions. Slide preparation of slides is an art, in my opinion, because each slide should contain a minimal text. Ideally, the information should be given in bullet form so that you can elaborate when you present, results or what your work. Group or panel, periodical group and panel discussions is important. Learning new techniques, learning advanced techniques, is very important so that you can undertake a new kind of work, uh, so that you'll get better publications and a better opportunities for promotion. Ability to work in a team. You have to have ability to work independently as well as in a team. Some people, they may not like to work in a team, which is absolutely bad. Because these days, working independently is not possible because most of the research is an integrative. So you need cooperation from your fellow students. So therefore, the ability to work in a team is absolutely important. Listening to others who present their work, taking notes, then cooperation with your fellow colleagues or students is also very important. So it can lead to collaborative projects and a meaningful work. Questioning, you have to ask questions, various important pertinent questions when you're undertaking a new project. and address those questions by utilizing appropriate methodologies or methods. Evaluation of the data that you generate meaningfully is also important. Researching, the undertaking research in the frontier areas of biology or other disciplines is equally important. When analyzing the data, leadership qualities, you have to show your leadership qualities when you undertake a new project to your peer seniors and colleagues. Then literature reading, this is absolutely important because unless you read the latest literature, you can't be abreast with the new information or new things that are happening in your own field of interest. Time management. Every project is a time bomb. Usually it is for 3 years, so you have to really manage the time to get the output of the work. On the right side panel, look at national trends then and now, like mid 20th century and 21st century, as per US Bureau of Labor Statistics. In mid 20th century, the professional is 20%, and same thing in 21st century. But when it comes to skilled personnel, in mid 20th century, it's just 15%, and a remarkable increase to 65% in 21st century. And unskilled personnel is just opposite. In mid 20th century, 65%, which is very, very high, and this has come down to 15% in 21st century, merely because of specialist training, higher education, and also increase in the literacy rate in some countries. Next, please. Learning from mentor. In fact, everybody needs a mentor who has enormous experience, in the area of your interest. In fact, a mentor or teacher is the first guide. So you can learn many things from mentor or teacher. Or else, find out somebody who is very successful in the field, in your field, and so that you can learn many things from him to succeed, to have a lucrative career. And you can also consider how they manage time and task. And alternatively, another thing is you can hire a career coach or consult seniors who has experience. So everyone can be benefited from outside perspective, particularly when they need advice on their strength and weakness. So when you ask an expert, of course, you may learn different things, different new skills that really improve the way you complete your task. Next, please. Pursue more credentials. Continued education, learning the advanced techniques in the frontier areas of biology, or learning new information. All this can help to diversify your current skill set and which are very relevant to a promotion. Networking is another aspect which is important for career development. You can have two kinds of network: personal as well as professional. So that you can have new information through networking, which really helps in cooperation and collaboration of research projects. And also, you also get to know about new positions, new opportunities. Then another important aspect is attending conferences, workshops, seminars, symposia, even refresher courses. This is very, very important, so that you're exposed to various new developments in your own field of interest or related fields. And you can also learn new skills or new techniques, advanced techniques, and those you can adapt for your own work, project work, so that you can generate a very useful, beneficial data for publications. Next, please. Invest in your strength. One has to focus on the things that you already do well and learn how to become even better at those things, rather than trying to excel in every skill possible. Every individual is not thorough with many skills. I may be very good in a particular one or two skills, so it's better to explore those skills, for your own work. Otherwise, it may hamper your work progress and also success. Plan ahead. If you see that there is a certain new positions in your organization or some other company, then you can plan ahead or figure out how to plan to get there. And in fact, you can also consider taking some time to write down the steps that may want to take to achieve the goal. Next, please. This is also very, very important if you are a scientist or a researcher, writing new and innovative projects. So this will help you to generate extramural funding for research and for the development of the infrastructure. And for this, of course, the prerequisite is to thoroughly study the literature so that you can identify a gap in a particular research field. And based on this gap, okay, this particular topic is not worked out before. So that is identification of gap in a particular research field. And then you can set specific objectives, mostly 3 to 5 objectives. Then you can provide background information, questions to be asked, then methodologies which can be applied to address the set specific objectives, then timeline, which is task, expected outcome. So these are the different components of the writing a project. Then challenge yourself. You have to volunteer in new projects, take extra responsibilities, ensure that your project succeed with useful products or new knowledge. Next, please. Action plan of projects undertaken. Like as I told you before, usually every project is for 3 years. It can be, of course, if your progress is very good, you may get extension for another 1 year or another couple of years, maximum 5 years. I had a few projects which ran up to 5 years. So here the action plan is very important for the success of any project. So you have to have the task in terms of time. Success, you have to create success criteria, timeline and frame, use resources to achieve the project goals. Creative thinking, you can using your imagination. You have to be creative in for your project work, and you can try new things or new techniques, advanced techniques, right, to address the project objectives. Next, please. Yeah. Responsibility, you have to feel great responsibility in handling any project or even teaching, right? Meeting the project deadlines. Sometimes, we may fail to complete the project in defined time, that is 3 years. Therefore, the meeting project deadline is something very important. The funding agencies, government funding, they may not like if you don't complete your project work in a specified time, usually 3 years. Getting to places on time. If you have to attend a conference or meeting, so obviously, of course, it's better to be on time. Follow a particular schedule. Then leadership, which I've already mentioned, you have to have leadership qualities in handling projects or even helping others, particularly juniors. Listening to others who present their work. You have to take the notes, visualize what you hear, and you learn, of course, many new things by listening to others' work. Decision making, identify the goals, think of other options, consider taking risk or evaluation of other options. So these are very important for taking a proper decision. Next, please. Integrity, honesty, which is something very important in research or any other occupational profession. So, like most of the institutions or private companies, they keep a record for integrity of an employee, which is one of the criteria for the next level of career or promotion. Self-esteem, self-esteem is nothing but confidence. You have to believe in yourself to undertake a new project. If you feel that, let's say, you have started with some project, and right in the beginning, if you feel that I can't undertake this project work. I may not be able to do this. So these are, so therefore, you have to have a great confidence in undertaking a new project and doing your best, so that definitely you'll be successful, right? Next, please. Goals, as I told you, short term, mid term, long term. Short term, you have to set goal for another 1 to 2 years, which comes under short term. Mid term, maybe 3 to 5 years. Long term, 5 to 10 years. So this kind of setting different term goals is also important. Then my values is better to be as simple as possible, down to earth, balance, endeavor, learning, family, friends, courage, etc. And periodically one has to update the CV. Then interview, you can do interview practice so that you can perform better when you attend an interview for the next level of your career or promotion. Next, please. Next one. Next slide, please. Hello? Hello? Next slide.
Divya?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Divya slides froze again.
Next one. Yeah. Okay. Sociability, I think meeting with people, joining activities in club. So sociability, is also important. Cooperation, getting along with fellow employees and friends, working on projects with others, that is collaborative projects. And these days, of course, most of us, we do integrative research. A single scientist, a single person or individual cannot do everything in a specific project. You may be specialized in a particular field, but you need the knowledge from other disciplines or technologies or advanced technology from other fields. So therefore, the collaboration with some other people who have expertise in some other related areas, you can integrate. By integrating these, you can come up with a very fine project and results, of course, wonderful results, beneficial results. Next, please. Some of you must have seen like papers published in multidisciplinary journals like Nature, Science, or PNS. We see 40 to even 50 authors in a single paper. So that really shows most of the research is an integrative type of research. Levering, right? Some people, they resign to further one's careers with another employee. So this is some extent okay. If you in a particular in a particular organization where you're working, if you don't see any progress, then of course you can resign and join some other organization for better opportunities or to have a better career. Loyalty to career. Jump jobs frequently for new grades. So this is applicable for new graduates who join some other organization, and then if they're not happy, not satisfied, then they jump to some other organization. Expand ability for future opportunities. Then difficulties, this is very important. Any kind of profession or occupation is not straightforward. We are bound to have difficulties or discourages, sometimes, from people. So these are, we inevitably come across all these roadblocks, and you have to face the difficulties, discourages, failures with courage, so that you can overcome difficulties for the success of your projects and, of course, ultimately career. Next, please. Last but very important, last but not least, very important, take care of your health. Most of the younger generation, very bright younger generation, they work either in a scientific institution or a company, biotech or pharmaceutical company, and they really work hard without caring their own health. They work for 16 to even 18 hours without taking proper care of their health. This is something very bad. Of course, I'm not saying that you should not work hard. You should work hard, but you should also take out some time for your better health. Like you can take time to relax get enough sleep every night, do exercise regularly, eat well. You can build strong friendship, spend some time on your hobbies, spend some time, with your family and children. So if you do all these, you can take some time to stay healthy, and then you can more likely to have energy and support you require to the level up in your career. Next, please. Yeah. So I've given, of course, various tips based on the literature, and some of them are, of course, from my own experiences. I would like to give a few examples of world famous scientists or big personalities, and just to inspire you, and you can imagine how they've come up in their life to have a wonderful career. So, in fact, I've read the life story of famous scientists. There are very little books on famous scientists, famous industrialists, or famous businessmen. So I've read a couple of books on famous scientists, and I was amazed to see their life story. For example, Thomas Edison, or Jagdish Chandra Bose, Abdul Kalam, etc. I mean, among others. So I would like to spend a little bit time for briefly describing the life story of these scientists or politicians or businessmen. Next, please. Next one. Yeah. I'll begin with Thomas Alva Edison. Of course, he comes under scientific career. And Edison, of course, is the one who invented the first voting machine, right? Voting machine. And then he invented, is remarkable, he invented so many things, and he's the first one to get more than 1,093 patents, which is a world record. What is, more importantly, invention of light bulb, right? So after the invention of light bulb by Edison, the whole New York City was, was illuminated with the light bulb that was discovered or invented by Edison. What is important here is look at his life, particularly during his childhood. He was born in Milan in 11th of February 1847, and Edison credited his mother for the success of his ever inquisitive mind. I think from age, he could not go to school. I think only he could go to school only for a few years, and at the age of 7, uh, his mother used to teach him. In fact, he built a small laboratory in the basement of his house. So that means he had a very formal schooling. Basically, he learned from his mother, who was a school teacher, and he loved experiments, particularly the chemistry lab. He built a chemistry lab, and he loved the experiments related to chemistry and electronics. And interestingly, Edison worked as a newspaper carrier and telegrapher, and at an early age, he developed. He used to provide newspaper in a train. In fact, he has also built a laboratory in the train and along with the printing machine. And unfortunately, at an early age, he developed hearing problems, and which have been variously attributed. One of the attributes is like one day, he was trying to catch the train, and then one gentleman, he hold him with the 2 ears to pull him, into the train by holding his ears, and as a result, he became completely deaf for the rest of his life. And so look at, having a formal schooling, learning many things from his mother, he could discover or invent more than 1,000 things which are patented is amazing, right? So I'm sure, anyone can get inspiration by reading the life story of such great scientists of the past. Next, please. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, again, he comes under scientific career. He was born on 15th of October 1931 in Rameshwaram, the holy temple city, in a very poor Tamil Muslim family. And I think he has quite a few brothers, and being a very poor family, he had to support his family by selling newspaper during his early years. In fact, he was an average student during the school. He possessed a very strong desire to learn and was very hardworking. He got, from Madras Institute of Technology, he received a degree in aeronautical engineering in 1960, and after graduation, he has joined DRDO organization, where he has developed missiles. In fact, he is known as a uh, uh, missile man. And then later, he has also joined ISRO, where he has also contributed very significantly for me, right? And he had a illustrious scientist. He was a illustrious scientist turned statesman at a later stage of his life. And as you know, of course, he served as the president of Republic of India from 2002 to 2007. As the president, Kalam promoted the advancement of national nuclear weapons program. He also devised a 20-year action plan to achieve economic growth through technological development in India. And of course, he was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1997. So you can imagine a child, who had a very tough time during his childhood and could attain to such a level and got Bharat Ratna. Very inspirational actually. Look at his quote about success. Man needs his difficulties because they are necessary to their success. Next, please. Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose, we all know about him. He was born in a Bengali Kaister family in Musinganj. And the Jagdish Chandra Bose, Desi Bose, he had invented very important things in electronics, and he's the first one to demonstrate that plants also have life like animals. And he has developed a crescograph, a device for measuring the growth of the plants. In fact, a crater on the moon was named after his honor. What is important, he was a faculty, initially in University of Calcutta, and then he is the one founder director of Bose Institute in Calcutta. During his initial appointment in University of Calcutta, he used to get 2/3 of salary, and later it was further reduced to half of the salary as compared to the Europeans. And he did not accept the salary for about 3 years, and then later on, of course, he could get his areas for all those 3 years. So that look at is the best example for self-respect and dignity. And the Bose's Institute that was founded by him is a very premium research institute in India, which was established in 1917. One of the first research institute established in those days, and they are doing so well. And he acted as a director until his death. Next, please. And now I think I've given a couple of examples of greatest personalities which follow a political career. Abraham Lincoln, I was quite inspired, by reading his life story. He was born on 12th of February, 1809, and in a one-room log cabin. Look at, he used to live in such a small one-room log cabin on the Sinking Spring Farm, southern in Kentucky State. In fact, during his childhood, Lincoln was described as ungainly or gawky as a youth, because he used to wear not very good clothes. And I read that he used to study under the street light, and his father, in fact, his father was a shoemaker and a repairer. Lincoln learned these how to make shoes and repair. In 1860, shortly after his nomination to his president, Lincoln apologized and regretted his limited formal education. Otherwise, Lincoln was very self-educated. His formal schooling was intermittent, but he was a very good reader, and of course gained knowledge by reading various things. In fact, Lincoln, who became skilled with an axe, helped his father to clear their Indian land. So he had such a tough time during his childhood, and then later on, of course, he defeated many times in state elections, even president elections, and but finally, he has never got disappointed. In spite of several failures, he was, of course, very successful. Uh, for election as the president of United States in November 1860, after several attempts. Next, please. So this is another example of inspiration. And our own Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as you all know, he had a very difficult time during his childhood. He was born on the 17th of September 1950 in Vadgar, a small town in Gujarat, Mehsana district. His formal years taught him early tough lessons as he balanced his studies, non-academic life to spare time to work at the family own tea stall, at the railway station, I think. And the family struggled to make ends meet. And in the initial years, of course, he also lived in a single room of 12 into 40 feet size, which is unbelievable. And after a long struggle, he became, of course, Chief Minister of Gujarat, and he has done wonders for the state development. And history was scriptured in the court of Rashtrapati Bhavan on the evening of 26 May 2014, as Modi took oath as the Prime Minister of India after holistic mandate of BJP from the people of India because of Modi's charisma. Of course, he is the second time he's serving as the Prime Minister. He made several reforms and responsible for economic growth of India. Next, please. So this is another, inspiration. Then finally, I'm giving just one example for business career development. Dhirubhai Ambani. He was born on 20th December 1932, Charwad in Gujarat state. And look at, he started his career as a clerk at BioAsia and Co., which in 1950s was the largest transcontinental training firm east of Suez. And there, of course, he learned trading, accounting, and other business skills, which really helped him to start a business. In 1958, Ambani returned to India and settled in Bombay. And Reliance Commercial Corporation was set up in 1958 by Dhirubhai Ambani as a small venture firm, trading commodities, especially spices and polyester yarn. And today, today, the Reliance Industry Limited, Reliance Petrol Limited, and many, many more. In fact, these companies, Reliance Industries, the 100th largest company worldwide. So, starting from such a small job, and Dhirubhai Ambani became the richest man in India. And now, of course, the two sons, they're also still the richest in India. Next, please. So I've given these few examples just to, just so that we learn what they have all got through, and inspiration. We can get inspiration from them. Finally, I'll take only a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, to tell about my own academic journey. Of course, I had a long struggle, of course, to come up to this stage. Education. I come from a very small village of just about 2,000 people. It's called Bornapalli near Hyderabad Taluka, near Warangal. And of course, I've studied 10th high school, 10th and 12th, 11th and 12th in Junior College, Hyderabad. Graduated from Arts and Science College, Warangal. And you won't believe, I got married when I was just finishing my BSc second year for about 44 years now. Then with, of course, with a great efforts, I could get into postgraduate course in botany. in Kakati University. Then, of course, after PhD, I had two options. I was selected for junior lecturer through state level exam, and I also had the fellowship from Minister of Education to go to US. So I've got an admission as a postdoctoral fellow at Yale, most premium university, Yale University, New Haven. I was debating whether to join as a junior lecturer or PDF at Yale. So after a long debate, of course, I've decided to go to US to do postdoctoral research at Yale, which was a turning point in my life. Because in US, during my postdoctoral research, we have invented something very new, which, that word was, we have invented a new method for the control of fungal infections through specific inhibition of polyimmunobacillus in fungi using inhibitors. This was published in PNS, and then this work was followed by many groups globally, right? And that was the reason with this single paper and few other important papers I could get into University of Delhi. Then after coming back from US, I was looking for a suitable job. I've attended interviews at Kakti University and Usman University, and there was, and I don't want to elaborate, there was so many politics. In spite of having wonderful, merits, I could not get into both these universities. In fact, one professor from chemistry department, Professor Krishnamurthy, he suggested me that Rajam, you must leave this place. Even a Nobel laureate comes to Kakti University, they won't give you a lecture job. And that was a wonderful suggestion, and I took it seriously. I've applied in 10 different premium institutions in India, including University of Delhi. And I come to know about advertisements about assistant professor or lecturer at University of Delhi South Campus through my very close and family friend, Professor Rajan, retired as a chemistry professor from Kakti Institute. Our understanding, both of us were looking for jobs. And I used to get Hindu paper, he used to get some other papers. So our understanding was we must share the advertisements about suitable jobs. The UDSC, University of Delhi, they have advertised in a very small paragraph. So he had shown me, and immediately I've applied for that, and of course I attended the interview, did interview very well, and then I forgot about interview because I thought that there might be some politics there also. But within 20 days, I could get an appointment letter. So that has given me an opportunity to join and serve University of Delhi. I have joined in 1987 as a lecturer, became, of course, professor in 2006. And worked as a professor for about 14 years. Then superannuated in 2020, February. Then I continued as a UGC BSF faculty for about 3 years. Then, completely shifted from Delhi to my native place in March this year. I would like to tell about my hard work and dedication. I really, after joining the South Campus of University of Delhi, I really worked hard with a great dedication that has really fetched me, many successes in spite of several problems like interferences by some of the colleagues, for promotions, etc. But I did not care. My motive was to have a wonderful career in science, in research and teaching. When I joined South Campus of Delhi University, you won't believe, we were given, myself and one of my colleagues, we were given only table and chair and a bookshelf, nothing else. I had to really start from scratch, and with a very hard work, I could generate a huge money through external funding. I mean, for funding, as mentioned by Jagdish, I had handled 30 major projects, and those project money was responsible for the development of infrastructure. We had South Campus laboratories, including my laboratory, one of the most equipped laboratories in the country, with all advanced equipment. Then, of course, guiding experience. I have guided about 42 students, PhD students, 11 MPhil. He has already mentioned. In fact, I've also trained some of the faculty. When I was lecturer, I used to train even readers, associate professors in my lab. Then, handle over 30 projects and I published about 170 publications, including 60 book chapters and reviews. And of course, because of my academic achievement, I've got my own name in my research area, that is plant biotechnology, genetic engineering, and more recently RNA interference and artificial microRNA technology, and also genome engineering before retirement. So because of my research publications and achievements, of course, I used to get I've got a lot of invitations to give a lead or plenary keynote address. Even in some of the meetings, of course, I was guest of honor in some international or national conferences. I've given so many extension lectures in the universities or institutions, and chaired, of course, chaired so many conference sessions, both national and international. And I served as a member, or still serving as a member of several prestigious committees, like it was already mentioned, like DBT Task Force on RNAi and Research Advisory Committee. I'm still a member of Research Advisory Committee or Academic Committee of International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, member of selection committees in some universities. I've got I've got some honors and awards. The more importantly, I'm an elected fellow of 4 prestigious academies in India, including Indian National Science Academy, National Academy of Science India, National Agricultural Academy of Science, New Delhi, Telangana Academy of Sciences, Hyderabad. Of course, I was awarded Rockefeller Biotech Career Fellowship, which is very prestigious. There are a few others. Next, please. Next one. These are some of my outstanding scientific contributions. I've already mentioned briefly that I'm a co-inventor of a new method controlling fungal infections of plants by specific inhibition of fungal polymer biosynthesis using ornithine decarboxylase inhibitor. This paper was published in PNAS in 1985, and this work was followed by many groups worldwide. And today, I'm happy. Today I see more than 200 publications exclusively, in this field, in this particular field. And we have isolated and characterized about 17 vital genes. I don't know name because of paucity of time. So after the identification and characterization of 17 vital genes, we could target these genes in fungal pathogens and insect pests for engineering resistance in croplands like tomato by using novel RNAi artificial microRNA based approaches. Then we have generated a battery of transgenic crops for delayed ripening, improved fruit quality in tomato, or male cell lines, or tolerance against abiotic stresses, resistance against fungal and viral infections. In fact, our group is the first one to develop a very simple and efficient agrobacterial interference mediated genetic transmission from Chlamydomonas, a single cell alga, with major applications in biotechnology, particularly the production of biogas and ethanol. So this paper is highly cited. Among all my papers published from Delhi University, this particular paper is number 1, highly cited one. Right. And of course, we are also first one to demonstrate the enhancement of weed gene induction and gene transfer from agrobacterium to plants, by using external plant polyamines. And this has led to improvement of genetic transmission efficiency in brinjal and few other crops. I've listed only some of the very significant contributions through my research. Next, please. Finally, I would like to show my lab and colleagues photos. The first one on the left panel, I was a postdoctoral fellow at Yale University. That was my working desk. Then plant tissue culture lab at University of Delhi South Campus, Department of Genetics. This is working lab. Initially you won't believe, when I joined as a lecturer in '87, 3 faculty used to share a single lab. And then, maybe 10 years before retirement, I had the whole wing, 3 laboratories, a very big office room. You can see my office room here in the bottom left. And of course, all kind of equipment, required equipment for my kind of research. in plant biotechnology and genetic engineering. And of course, in the middle, bottom middle, you can see my colleagues. Some of them are already superannuated or retired. Now, initially we had 13 faculty. Now it is reduced to only 6. And the last one on the right side bottom, this photo picture was taken by my student on my retirement day. That is 29th February 2020, leap year. In fact, next one. Thank you very much for your patience. If you have anything to ask, I would be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. That was an amazing session. I mean, it started with basic and went to the particulars. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Are there any questions or anything that you want to talk?
Can I start off
Yeah,
with the question?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, Professor Rajam. Nice meeting you.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Murli, and wonderful. Your talk basically covered the whole spectrum out there. I particularly liked about how you talked in the end about your own career. For me, that is the ultimate thing that young people should see. What a successful scientist, academician's career looks like. You know, scientist, academician's career in university is about good papers, guiding students, getting grants, running a lab, and meeting networking people. Now you can sit there and say, I have had a career, I've been there, I have done that. So that's what young people should learn. He covered, practically you covered everything, sir. I had just to highlight 2 things for 3 things. One thing that you said very casually was the health part and the family part. I wanted to stress, I wanted to put one angle, that is career is for a very few people. You are one of the few people who have a career. Many of our attendees here might be looking for jobs. So we want to have people very clear that if you want to have a career in science, vis-a-vis a job, scientific job, they are 2 different things. If you have a career in science, many times you have to, you know, the family takes a back seat, health takes a back seat sometimes. I would like to say that from my life experience, it's a better thing to shoot for a job in science, because career in science is for a very, very few people. Be very careful. I'm not trying to discourage anyone. And the 2 other things that I wanted to say is, you get few minutes to impress somebody in this fast-paced world. Get your whatever you want to stress on in that few minutes, because many times in you are going for a grant presentation, they will tell you 30 minutes, 10 minutes, and then they'll tell you you have 2 minutes. that kind of a thing happens. So be very prepared for that. And then the third thing is the people networking. What we are going through here, it's very important. Push-pull. So if you have a chance to project yourself, seen and be heard, it's good for you. Don't shut your cameras. Don't hide behind mute audio systems. Be seen and be done that. Nice listening to you, sir. Wonderful getting your self-projection. That's very, very important. What you gave your projection towards the end, that's what people should see and understand what is a successful scientist currently looking like. Wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. I have no questions. I have a question. Perhaps I'll come back later, sir. I'll come to my question later. Younger people can ask.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Murli. In fact, I'm highly satisfied with whatever I've achieved in my life. No regrets at all.
Wonderful, sir.
Thank you, Professor Rajam, for a very nice talk. Thank you. Very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. Students,
Mahesh and Shivani, you had questions, right?
Yes, sir.
Abroad.
MSc or PhD students, you can ask questions about your PhD programs or facing any problems about your work and all.
Yes, sir. It was a
And
very
somebody was asking, what is the difference between PhD doing in India and abroad? Where PhD is same. Maybe Shivani, did you ask that question? No. Yeah. Doing PhD, whether in India or abroad, it is one of the same. The only thing, you have to choose. In India, we have several premium institutions, and they are doing the work in the frontier areas of biology, right? The same thing is happening in abroad, US or Europe, or whatever. Only thing, of course, they have in abroad, of course, probably they have a better funding in certain areas, particularly biomedical science and medical field. But in India, of course, we also have good funding for agricultural research and medical research. And Indian scientists are doing wonders, right? So therefore, depending on your interest, you can do PhD either in India or abroad. Like doing PhD abroad, that is not superior to a PhD that you receive from India, in my opinion, of course. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, sir. It's like very inspiring and motivating. Sir, I want to ask you, do we like getting JRF is must if we want to become a scientist, or is just important?
My connectivity problem, or is it generally hanging?
Voice is breaking now.
Good, sir. It's good.
Yeah, it's go ahead, please go ahead.
Go ahead, Shivani. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Like getting CSR and DBT, these are like important to do PhD in India, or they are important for to become a scientist also. Like,
There are two things actually. Like some universities and institutions, they insist that you should have a JRF either from CSR or UGC, because as you may be knowing, CSR UGC they conduct a joint exam, right, for the award of JRF and to get eligibility for lectureship. So some university institutions they prefer if you have a fellowship of your own, but it's not mandatory. It's not compulsory. It used to be in some institutions, but now it's not compulsory, right?
okay, yes,
Yeah.
sir. And like, if we want to go abroad, when we apply, do they particular about from which institute we are coming? Like, we have experience from which institute?
Yeah, that matters to some extent, of course, very well. Yeah, for example, if you do MSc from a very well-known universities like the University of Hyderabad or the University of Delhi or JNU, generally because for the scientists from abroad, they know only about the most premium institutions in India and our universities. There are many other universities, including state universities, probably they're not doing that well as compared to a few universities and institutions. So that matters to some extent, but it also depends about your merit, your academic performance during, right from high school days till your PG. So that also matters a lot. And also, if you have already done some research, a preliminary experience in research or training, that is added advantage for getting admission abroad for PhD. Yeah.
So basically, I'm from Telugu medium till my BSc. So how can I improve my scientific writing skills?
Let me tell you, I have studied in Telugu medium up to 12th standard. Only from BSc onwards, of course, English medium. And with the time, of course, with the time, I've really improved. The same thing you can do. You have to do hard work to improve your language. Improvement of language is absolutely important, isn't it? I'll tell you one story. During my MSc, one of my classmates, right? He during first semester he could not attend. He could not take the exam. He went away to his home because he was afraid. He was afraid of writing in English. The exam. And the same guy, like I requested my I was a class representative in the MSc first year. I requested the class teachers to conduct a separate exam for him. He's a, Dr. Narsaya. You won't believe. And he used to, he attended some crash course in English in Hanamakonda, Warangal. And in he has cleared first semester. Second semester, he improved further. Third, he improved further very significantly. And the same guy, he could get fifth rank in the university. I've got third rank. He could get
Really
fifth rank.
good.
Not only that, he did MPhil from Jawaharlal University, and then PhD from Australia, and he is a world-renowned scientist in molecular biology in US. And he has patents. They have discovered some vaccine, a new vaccine for some disease. Is Dr. Nasaya, Professor Nasaya. He has changed his name. Now he is known by his family name. This is the best example. Don't worry about your language, but you can always improve on. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Any other?
Yes, sir.
No, in my case, in many other cases, it's a gradual improvement, right? Of course, I was reasonably good during my childhood, but I used to get inspired from teachers, basically from my teachers. You won't believe, I still have contact with my junior college teachers, and I've got great inspiration. I used to think like the junior college teachers, they were MSc, basically MSc. So I used to think, whether I can reach up to that stage, MSc level. When I was doing MSc, again, I used to get inspiration from my, the MSc teachers for doing PhD. It's a gradual improvement, academic improvement. Yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
yeah. The another thing, I want to tell everyone, like I told you that I've got married when I was just just before secondary exam, BSc exam. And whenever I used to go to my village, the villagers, they used to laugh at me. This guy he has got married. His education is gone. And I took it as a challenge. Why a married person can't do higher education or study well in education in studies. So that was a challenge for me actually. I took it as a challenge, and that was the motivation that I could reach up to this stage, right? So one should have such kind of confidence whether
Yes,
you're
sir.
married, whether you are married or unmarried. And as a matter of fact, in my lab, most of the students, they got married during PhD.
Oh,
Some teachers, some supervisors, they don't encourage, right?
yes.
But
Yes, sir. They don't allow for marriage until they
yeah,
finish PhD. Yeah.
but in my lab, several of them got married during PhD and
That's
successfully completed. Yeah.
nice. And sir, do we need experience to get PhD in abroad, like
If we have a training,
MSc?
like
Okay.
you said, you have got a training in some institute, CCMB, if I'm
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Yeah, so that kind of training in a good institution would really help in getting admission, PhD admission abroad.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. But if we like join somewhere like a JRF, but many labs and scientists they'll force us to join PhD in their lab only, and they are not giving recommendation to go abroad, and that's how we are like stuck in.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
that is not true with every scientist or
not with
faculty.
every, but most of the
Like,
like
yeah,
labs that I have seen, like I have joined.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. The recommendation letter is also something very important, actually.
Very
You should,
important. Yes, sir.
very important to get admission abroad
Yes. And
because
these
a recommendation letter should be taken from a teacher who taught you or a researcher who trained you, right? A scientist who trained you in his lab. So that will really help because
yes,
the person, scientist from abroad, he won't be knowing about you much, isn't it? So
yes, sir.
he would only know through recommendations given by
Yeah.
your teacher, yeah, or mentor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
There are actually, I could not, after completion of MSc, I was trying for PhD in JNU. I could not get into. right?
Okay.
So yeah, finally I've done PhD from same department of chemistry. But today I'm a member of several committees in JNU, member of
Yeah.
IBSC, member of academic committee, special committee, whatnot. You know, so once I could not get into JNU for PhD, but look at the time. If you
Yeah.
work hard, you can achieve many things in life. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Shivani. Mahesh, you wanted to ask something, right?
Yes, sir. Most of my good evening, sir.
Yeah, good
Like,
evening.
nice to meet you, sir. It was a wonderful journey, like really inspiring and motivation. Like whatever the Abraham Lincoln, I just imagine myself like I want to be in my future, like the way you had your successful life, sir. It was really
Thank you.
quite impressive. Sir, the thing what I'm going to ask is, like I came to know that doing PhD and coming into academics, and it was like quite challenging, like without having any reference and some politics will be played out. So rather
Yeah.
than that, you can go to the companies towards like any like where you can earn money and you can be settled. There won't be any stress. So there are some faculties who are guiding like rather than going to industries it is better like going to industry is better when compared to doing PhD. So this is one question, sir, and the other thing is right now we are not going to like I don't have any idea like for applying PhDs in abroad what is the right way to approach and in what way we have to approach them. And before applying like there would be like criteria, these are the things you have to have marks and everything. Like one of my guide mentor he advised me that, sir, this is an example. So he said me that
Yeah.
to apply for PhD, go through the databases like NCBI, find your research, see the trending articles and mail them and wait for the reply. So this is
Right.
what I have been doing from past 4 months, sir. I haven't got any reply or feedback from anyone. And since
Mm-hmm.
coming from a
Right now,
place,
you're doing masters in.
you know, sir, my master's was completed and I'm been working as a project assistant in the University of Hyderabad.
Okay.
So this is the thing, sir.
Like you said, somebody suggested to join industry for a job. You know, doing a job in industry is not that easy. Every industry has their own mandate, and you will you will have real pressure if you don't do well. If you don't do well, they will shut the door, right? So, with regard to PhD, if you are interested in PhD, you can always try abroad or within India, right? So, the other thing I would like to tell you, you have to be very firm about your goal, what you want to become. Whether you want to become a scientist in an industry R&D or an academic institution or a university, this is something very important right in the beginning. This is a crucial stage for you to decide upon whether you want to join industry or academic institution, right? And accordingly, you can work to reach your goal. I've seen some people, including some of my own students, just for the sake of job, initially they join industry, some small job. Some students even they have joined even unrelated jobs, not at all related to their PhD background, right? I always, before I consider anyone for PhD, I used to ask the student, if you are really genuinely interested in research, in academic, then only join my lab for PhD. Otherwise, it's of no use. After doing PhD, if you join in some other, unrelated, very unrelated job, it's of no use, right? So therefore, you have to decide upon what do you want to become. If you want to become a good researcher or academician, work accordingly. Definitely, you will be successful. You want to be in the industry, that is also fine. Yeah. So, but some, as I told you, some have joined industry first, and then once you join industry, it's very difficult to come back to academics. You know, some of my students face some of my students as well as students from my department, they have really faced just for the sake of, so they have joined initially in the industry and they had tough time to come back to academics because there will be a gap. Because in industry, research is not that active. Some of the industries, of course, they are doing very well even in the R&D, but most of the Indian companies, they have very poor R&D. Basically, they promote a product or products for commercialization, So this is something, the decision is very important for what you want to become, right?
Sir, to gain, like as you said, getting placed in companies, industries in India is a very difficult thing. They will knock. I mean, they just remove if you're not expert. So my question is like, sir, doing research in abroad, in a place where it's all about the machines and everything, it is working like no, everything is artificial, like AI. So being an expertise in such techniques, we need research. I mean, we need some experience. So for that experience, is there any kind of limited period that before after going for PhD, like for a period of 6 months or 1 year, I have to train here in particular projects and gain some experience? Would you suggest any few things for me, like to be a qualified candidate for me?
First of all, you have to have the academic background in that area. If it is artificial intelligence, your education should be in that area, right? That is first point. And secondly, if you are having experience in AI, that will really help. Because if they accept you as a PhD student, from day one you can start to work. Otherwise, you have to get trained, the particular train abroad, which they don't prefer, because they will be losing time for project progress. So they always prefer someone who has good knowledge, in the area of their interest, and also experience, reasonably, some experience by way of training. Like you said, you're working as a project assistant, so obviously you're getting trained in whatever area that you're working in University of Hyderabad. So that will really help, getting PhD admission abroad.
Yeah, can I just add a couple of points here, Professor Rajam?
During my days, during my days, I've applied in 4 or 5 very premium institutions like Harvard, Yale, Cornell, and I've got into Yale University. But remember, I did not have any kind of experience in plant biotechnology or plant polymer physiology, in which my mentor, Professor Arthur Garson, very world-renowned scientist in plant physiology and biotechnology, but still he accepted me. And after joining his lab, and for first 1 month or so, first 40 days, I had to learn the techniques, because during my MSc, I did not know ABC of biotechnology, because in 1970s, late 1970s, and also I did ever heard about polyamides, right? So I had to, within 1 month or 40 days or so, I learned the techniques and applied those techniques to do experiments. Within 3 to 4 months, I have written a manuscript, discovery paper in just 4 months' time. Those are very rapid experiments, of course, experiments in fungi, and that paper was accepted without revision. So those days were different, but these days, of course, we have many institutions. So getting training in a frontier area will really help you out in getting PhD admission.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And the other thing, getting PhD admission abroad is tough because there's a huge competition. Funding is not that much. Funding has been reduced not only in India, even abroad. Particularly in plant science area, the funding is very poor in US or in other countries. So it's a highly competitive to get PhD admission. You have to be a very meritorious, right? So this is also very important.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I think Dr. Murli, you want to?
Dr. Ajit can also.
I just wanted to add, Professor Rajam, as you rightly pointed out, I think Mahesh and others who are in a similar situation to decide, PhD in India, PhD outside. I think the most important thing, I think Murli also captured some of those things in the text messages here, is to make sure that you identify an area that's very much that you are interested in pursuing, but why you are pursuing, that's equally important. Okay, you can't just make up saying that I'm interested in plant technology. You have to have a reason and perhaps write up a rationale why you want to work in that particular area and that particular lab. How is that relevant to you? Okay, then they will know that then it's a good match. That you are you have done your background work. Okay, and if you are into PhD, obviously you have to do a lot of background work to make sure that you are a good fit for that particular area, good fit for that particular lab, and that is the area that you want to work. Okay, if you say that I want to do a PhD, can I join your lab? that's going to be challenging. Whereas if you say, I've read your papers, this is very interesting to me, and this is the type of work that can be done, and I have interest in that area. I've read about that particular project or similar projects from your lab and other labs. I'm interested in pursuing that particular area. Can I join your lab? Is there an opportunity for me to come and learn in your lab? Okay.
Yeah.
If such situations happen, then obviously going by what you write, they will say, okay, you are very interested, you have some experience in this, come and join my lab. Or they may say, hey, you have such nice ideas, I don't mind giving you 3-4 months to come and work in my lab. We will teach you, you have good ideas, let's pursue. Okay. So pick on those lines, Mahesh.
Yeah, with regard to PhD admission, I see one major difference in abroad and here in India. In abroad, of course, the candidate, he has to come up with a novel idea about his PhD project work. Unlike in India, in most cases, in most of the institutions, universities, the supervisor, guide, he suggests the topic, research topic. Like, I had a lot of ongoing research programs, right, projects. So I've already identified a research gap and got a project. So obviously, I need a candidate who can, who can do that work. So the research topic is already decided by the supervisor here. So a student, he doesn't come up with an idea, what has to be done for his own PhD. But in abroad, they are very, when applying, of course, you have to submit a proposal, 1-page or 2-page proposal. So that is very, very important. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Professor Rajam, let me just add to that. Okay, Mahesh, this again, and others who are listening, it's very important what Professor Rajam brought up. Okay, if you are applying to one particular lab, in the US or Europe, they would like to know what your thought process is, how you are planning to design the work, how you want to do it, what you want to execute. Okay, and how you are planning to do it, whether it is your project or somebody else's project. They would like to know your thought process and how really you have put in your effort to understand that project and how you are going to execute it. Whereas here, like Professor Rajam said, you go to your supervisor, PhD supervisor, and say, I want to work in your lab, sir, or madam, and then they'll say, yeah, okay, you do the following work, come back and, start the work. Okay, so that's a significant difference.
Yeah. In fact, students request the supervisor to suggest a research topic here, and in abroad, like in US, the mentor or guide, they hate dependency. The candidate, they expect that candidate is independent in studies as well as performing research experiments. So the dependence is bad. Of course, you have to be independent enough to perform your own experiments. They only, they are only involved in discussion during lab meetings and all. And for a postdoc, of course, they expect complete independence for doing experiments. Dependency they don't like. They hate, in fact.
Right, but that doesn't, Professor Rajam, that doesn't mean that that you cannot do it. Okay, even if you don't have, like Professor Rajam showed in his slides, networking, talking to others, and learning from others, and saying, okay, no problem, Professor. I'll work with person X. He's going to help me. Person Y will help me with a little bit, and pick it up. So it's not that you have to be an expert before you join for a PhD program. Okay.
No, not expert.
You have to have a willingness to learn from others.
With the time, of course, the candidate is supposed to learn and become an independent. Not completely. They always try to help, but complete dependence on the supervisor is not good. Yeah, that they don't like it.
Yes, sir. Actually, this was these were the doubts which I have, Dr. Ajit sir. The answers and the points which I really expecting. Thank you, sir, Ajit sir. And thank you, sir, Ranjan sir. It was really helpful for me. I got an idea. It was. Thank you, sir.
Sure,
maybe,
thank you.
Maybe shall I also add my story there?
Sure.
Mahesh, it was exactly the same confusion that I had after during and after finishing my MSc. Only thing that motivated me was, when I wanted to apply for PhD, I decided to go abroad. So first decision was I decided. Then I didn't care about CSR or anything. That was actually a mistake. I would not recommend anybody. because I finished my MSc in 2011 April, but I joined PhD in 2012 February. So 8 months, I was just waiting for interviews and everything. And then, sustaining on limited funds, borrowing from friends. So it was a difficult thing. But only thing that kept me was I was really passionate to do my PhD on cancer. So why I was passionate was, my grandmother, my friends, everybody who had cancer. And one thing that I did not understand is that what should I do in cancer? So I was randomly searching for papers, looking for people on internet and randomly applying, which did not work for a while. Afterwards, it worked. And that person who looked into my CV, he didn't look into what interest that I had, what techniques that I'm bringing in, and what experience that I have, and whether I'm good or not. So then afterwards, he identified, okay, I want to do a PhD on cancer. And then he gave me a project in cancer. But the thing is, the struggle was after going to Germany. Like here, I was more bookish. And there they gave me a mass spectrometry on the first day itself and asked me to run experiments. So it was a struggle for 8 months. In the end, I quit my PhD there. Then whatever I have learned, cell culture and everything, then I wanted to apply only that knowledge because I was not good at biophysics. Then it was a struggle to identify another lab and got a PhD where it took a lot of courage to quit and join there. And I was also in the similar boat like you, whether to go for an industry after MSc. So this question was actually answered in first FABA Fridays, like first and second. Many of the juniors who were here in FABA Fridays, they joined industry after MSc because they thought like PhD struggle is very difficult. And also the confusion whether to stay in India or go abroad or whether I will get a faculty position or not, because there are a lot of issues when you want to faculty. So they joined industries. And after joining industries for 2 years, then they realized that they are doing only one technique because they are not so qualified, whether they don't have PhD or postdoc, especially with a broad repertoire of techniques that they have. So they were just doing microbial screening or one HPLC or something, and they were fed up with their life. So they came with the frustration in the first FABA Fridays and said like, sir, we want to do PhD because PhD has a lot of freedom. But here, after masters, industry is not treating us properly. So the thing is, what I want to share here is that there is no straightforward answer for anything. So going for industry, academia, India or abroad, everything has its own merits and demerits. So you need to basically discuss like this with many people. Also identify your own skill set, identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's called SWOT analysis, and go according to that. So I'll stop here. Yeah.
I just want to add and kind of echo Jagdish was mentioned. Please remember, in industry, you can get in as a MSc, but if you want to go up in R&D, at the end of the day, you have to qualify yourself. It's either with a PhD or the different technology and the knowledge which are there in science. Otherwise, you will be always like your career is over as a manager. You will not ever go up from there in R&D environment. So to me, it is very important that when you have time, you better first equip yourself with the scientific knowledge, latest technologies, and then you will see automatically in industry. Once you enter industry, you will learn the tricks of industry, and then, but you have your base ready, so you will be able to grow. Which I tell many times of my junior colleagues in industry, because nowadays it is a tendency. The people are not that many, so you can immediately change a job and get a big jump in your salary. So many people, if before they get trained, they move to another company with a higher salary, and then after some time they come back to me many times, sir, I'm not getting promotion, what I'm going to do. I said, I told you that time, don't move so fast. You learn first the things, make your base ready, and then you jump. So these are very, very important. I think you should remember to really go up, because I don't think any of you, it's today we are talking about entry, but I think all of you want to succeed. And like as Professor Rajam had mentioned, want to go at the top as a vice president or head of R&D. So in a situation like that, you have to understand your science. If you go management in industry, there also you have to have an MBA or something like that. So just a MSc or a master's degree will not help you really to go there until and unless your base is strong. So keep that in mind and accordingly plan your career.
Yeah, I agree. That's right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, sir. Like, not only the answers, you guys in an indirect way, you showed me the path and the way what I have to apply. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, sir.
Yeah.
I see Redana sir also joined. Good morning, sir.
Who has joined?
Redana sir, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, good evening.
Good evening, Professor.
Good evening, Rajam.
Nice to see you on this.
I enjoying the discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah, students will have many, apprehensions whether to go to industry or to go do PhD, how to prepare for that, all that. And in that connection, I think what Dr. Rajit and you and Jagdish explained very clearly.
Yeah.
One thing that I also want to add, Mahesh, is that you said some of your faculty said that you should go on PubMed and then search for trending topics and choose a topic. So this will not fetch you, this will not take you far. It's always the base and your interest, because you want to have a big future in research. So it's always the burning question that what you will have, because trending topics are good only for a while. Afterwards, the trend will go.
Yeah, new trend will come.
Yeah.
Let me tell you my own experience. I started off my career in mutation breeding, one of the oldest fields.
Yes, sir.
And then if I stick to the same field until recently, I wouldn't have got such many projects. With the time, from mutation breeding to plant biotechnology, plant biotechnology to transgenic genetic engineering, and then later on, have to learn myself the most advanced techniques like RNA interference and artificial microtechnology, more recently, of course, genome engineering. So because of this transition from a old field to a frontier area in plant science, I could get such many projects, more than 30 projects, right? This is also like as Jagdish was mentioning, you had to be in the frontier area, right? So that, you can really shine in your research and have
Yes,
a
sir,
good career.
definitely. Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah.
One more thing, when you go to interviews in IITs and everywhere, they will be testing your basic. They won't be testing whether you know artificial intelligence. They test whether you know the gene, whether you know what is a DNA. So these things are very, very important. So it's already 9 o'clock. If there are any burning questions, we will take one or two, or otherwise we will wind it up here.
One point I just wanted to inform everybody. Getting admission to PhD in India with fellowship is much more difficult than getting admission to PhD anywhere, either in the US or Europe.
Yeah.
So it is much more competitive in India. See, you can get admission with your own money without fellowship, but nobody should join for PhD with your money without fellowship. Either in India or abroad, it has to be with fellowship. And so getting admission in other countries is much easier than in India. So you know the process, how to get admission into a good reputed university in India. It is through national entrance examination, and you should get net fellowship, and a number of fellowships are there. With those only, you should join for PhD program. And similarly, if you have some kind of project work done and there is one publication, then getting admission to PhD in Europe is much easier, and it is much faster also. And whereas in US, the traditional way is and the scores. DRE, TOEFL, those kind of things are much more important, and also your background work, what you have done. So opportunities are many, but you need to put your effort and prepare yourself for those opportunities.
Yeah.
So very good. Thank you, Rajam, for sharing your experience.
Thank you. Really enjoyed the interaction and discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you. And look forward to see you
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for joining.
Bye.
See you next week.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Bye.
So
sir.
we are waiting for the genome editing workshop.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Starting on 25th.
Yes.
So hope many of the students will utilize the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think next FABA Friday we'll just do only this one, sir. Ask me anything. Instead of topic, we'll just put ask me anything. We people, let's. I think this. What I feel is that this kind of interaction, what happens in the last 20-30 minutes, is much more valuable because people start to open up. Unfortunately, initially we'll have 40-50, but afterwards 20-30 will be there. That's when a lot of important things comes up.
Dr. Sairam, who started this Tulasi Therapeutics, and also he has taken space in the Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences for stem cell based therapies. So he agreed to share his experiences and also give an exclusive talk also on stem cells and its applications.
Yeah.
I think his startup is revolutionary with cell-based therapy, sir. In pain management. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Jagdish, we have a meeting at 9 o'clock. For you,
yes, for us, 9:30, sir.
Yeah.
I have 20 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.